Welcome everybody. Welcome again to our weekly workshop today. We changed the name of it actually. Today we are calling it Clay Masterclass. And this masterclass for today, it's really interesting. It's a topic that I love. That is sales intent signals or trigger-based outreach. You can name it as you like. But the idea here is that we're going to use different triggers to find the best leads possible to reach out to them and being able to increase the conversion rate over time, decrease the cost of running your workflows, and being able to, of course, increase your profits. So, actually, Mark is joining right now. So there we go. Hey there.
Hello. Sorry for being late. It's a sales call. Can you hear me?
So I was just about, I was introducing the team topic to the audience. I was saying that this topic is really interesting for me. I love this topic. I think this is one of the hot trends this year, probably next year as well. And not so many companies are doing this type of sales intent signals campaign workflows. So, how are you doing today, Mark?
I'm doing great.
Should I name you Marcos again?
I'm back to Marcos. I didn't like the American version of my name, so right now I'm coming back to the roots, as it should be.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
Really
intent
happy
signals.
to hear that you are back to
The hot topic of the year. Whenever we do a masterclass or an event on signals, we know it's going to be crowded. So thank you for being here. And yeah, David prepared the presentation, so I'll let you take the lead.
Of course. For the audience.
I think he just left. Can you help me in the chat? Make sure that we're seeing we're in the same page. It just disappeared.
Again here.
Okay, great. Because my internet was not working so well either today, so I was confused.
Now, we have a big storm here, but I don't know if that was the cause. Anyways, I have a question for the audience that was, how many of you have reached out to a prospect only to hear that they are not ready yet, coming back in some month? Even if you start getting meetings from those lists of qualified prospects, probably if you are not reaching out to them in the correct timing, they won't have budget. So if you have been there, tell us your experience with that situation in the chat. If you are annoyed of this situation, probably we have been all there. So budget, yeah, wasting time, all of those exactly. So we have been there. All of you that have been, reaching out to leads and booking meetings. Even if your calendar is full packed of meetings, if they are not qualified, if they don't have budget, though the time that you spend with those leads are gonna be wasted. I mean, of course, you can keep nurturing that relationship, but if you are not spending the time correctly, you will be wasting a lot of time that you could spend in other leads that might be more qualified for you. Have you been there as well, Marcos? Do you have any experience like that?
Yep, many times. And even though you implement all these systems, sometimes you have some false positives as well. So this definitely helps to decrease big time these scenarios. But of course, if you're in sales, you're familiar with any of these objections or these delays on closing the deal.
Of course. So the idea here is that we can solve at least one part of this problem. We're going to discuss that what is the real issue here. That's not the message, probably. It's not the list. It's the timing. Even if you have a strong list of qualified leads, if you're not reaching out to them in the correct timing, you might be, wasting your bullets here on leads that are not ready yet. And we can chat about it, different ways that you can use that to qualify not only the leads itself, the companies itself, but also the situation, the moment, the timing. Probably 95% of your time isn't buying right now. So that's something that if you haven't launched any outreach campaign before and you want to start reaching out to cold leads, you will understand pretty soon, because you're gonna receive the first replies like, I'm not interested, I'm not ready yet. So the idea here is that we can start increasing the efficiency of your automations, of your outreach. The average timing to close a lead in B2B, high ticket and this type of packages that can take you a lot of time to close, um, the the buying window is really, really short. I mean, the decision makers have a budget to take a decision, and they need to take a decision in that moment, in that month, that quarter, not more than that. So if you haven't reached out to them before that or in that correct timing, you will lose a lot of opportunities. So this is the situation here. Most of the outreach that we see across many industries, many companies, locations, and so on is that most of you are stuck in this spray and pray situation in which you send messages to the whole time. Let's assume this triangle is the whole time in any particular time. And most of the people that you are reaching out are not ready. So you're wasting your messages, your tech stack, your money into delivering messages to people that are not ready yet. And only probably, like I told you, 5% will be ready in that moment. So what we propose is that instead of reaching out to all of them, reach out to the ones that are ready in the correct timing. So you can manage lower data sets, lower amounts of leads, but more accurate. They will be more ready. They will have more budget. They will be into learning about your solution, being able to spend money to buy your solution. So on. And when you are trying to figure out when is the best time to reach out to, there are many ways of doing that. But in general, most industry has seasonality. So you will see that some months, some quarters, your decision makers will have more budget. So that's one way of doing that. You don't even need to think about any type of trigger when you're reaching out. Just think about the quarter that you will have more money, the month that you will have more money, and prepare yourself to launch campaigns in that moment. That will be a starting point. But then you have also indicators for people that are going to be more available, that will have more budget. Like, for instance, if you are recently hired into a new position, probably they expect you to change something, to start improving things. So you need to demonstrate tractions in the early 1 to 3 months. So for new positions, those are the moments of the year that they will have more budget. And then you can also track other engagement signals, like, for instance, if a company is growing, they have an expansion plan. Probably if they have raised funding, those are all triggers that can help you understand when you can target those audience. So the important part here is that we understand that it's not only getting a list of qualified leads, it's also understanding when is the best time to reach out to them and reach out to them in the correct timing. Why we're doing that? This is an example here of some campaign that we have been running in the previous years, so you can understand the impact of sending messages in the correct timing. To the right, we see here the conversion rates of a LinkedIn outreach campaign, the connection rate for an audience that don't know who we are, they don't have a budget yet. Probably they weren't even aware that they have a problem to solve. So you can notice here that the connection rate is 16%. In here, where it says hot, we have another audience that is aware of the problem, is looking for a solution. Some of them might be also aware of who we are. So for those leads, the conversion rate is 48%. So it's 3 times bigger, 3 times higher the conversion rate. So that's why you need to invest into finding out these triggers, because in some cases the triggers will indicate you where to target. And if you have a TAM that is really, really big, you need to be efficient into understanding to which ICP when target to them. Here's another example. Even by having the same copy here in the LinkedIn messages, the conversion rate is the same. But as you can notice here, from the warm to the cold, we process twice or 3 times even more leads in the cold campaign, and we get almost the same amount of replies that we get in the warm. All right. So check out here in the hot, we have 264. Of course, we process more leads here, but the amount of leads that you can get at the end, it's way higher. So that's why we spend a lot of time into helping our clients to not only figure out which are the best triggers to start monitoring them, to do it manually, but also start automating all those tasks. And in order to do that, you need to be able to manage tools like Clay, manage tools like NAN, Appify, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, Polo, and so on. So it's in our expertise, all those tools, we help your team to be able to deploy these workflows and being able to achieve these results that we were showing you. But today, we're going to discuss how you can start doing it. We're going to share with you a workflow live. We're going to build that workflow. We're going to share that with you as well. So if you have any questions about sales intent signals, just drop it in the chat. We're going to cover it later. But this topic, I promise you, it's really, really useful and interesting, and you need to start doing these types of campaigns if you want to keep being in top of the mind of your clients. So the other way, if you are not doing that, probably your competitor is doing that. So that's why you need to start investing time into deploying these systems, because you will be left behind. That's another way to understand this. We were talking about this type of triggers last week when discussing about qualification. And we always recommend our clients to assess the signals in two verticals. One is if those signals will indicate if that lead is aware of your brand, and the other signals are regarding readiness to buy. So brand awareness is individual, and you will notice if they start following you, reacting to your content, subscribing to your newsletter, visiting your website, having a conversation with you, replying to your campaigns. All those actions are sales intent signals for you that you can take, but not all of them will be showing you that they will be ready to buy. And the readiness to buy can be created by different sources, but in some cases it's related to the budget. For instance, if a company has recently raised funding, another indicator can be if they have published a new job post, or if it is a new person in a new role. So all those indicators for you will be a good way to start monitoring the timing for them. So if you find leads that are aware of your brand and also will have a strong indicator for you, a sales intent signal, engaging with a post, for instance, that you're talking about your service, and they agree on the topic, and they also add value, or they send you a message. All those signals can be tracked nowadays, and if you're not doing that right now, you're gonna be left behind. So that's the idea here behind this system, is that you can start tracking all those leads that are gonna be hotter, and you're gonna increase the conversion rate in the long term. So the opportunity here is that if you start launching these trigger-based campaigns, you can increase the quality of the leads, the conversion rates, and the cost, decrease the cost of per acquisition. And by doing that, you will be able to increase that. But also, if you start automating that, you will be able to decrease the amount of data-intensive work that you can do, so you can increase the amount of leads that you can process. So it's a win-win in every way. And today, we're going to show you how you can create a campaign in Clay to find leads that are ready to buy. In this case, we're going to find lead gen agency owners investing in AI tools. Maybe you want to start selling any type of AI solution to this audience. So the way that you could do it, there are many ways of doing that, but today we're going to track one signal in particular, that is people mentioning an AI tool on LinkedIn. So we're going to grab those LinkedIn posts that mention these AI tools, and we're going to analyze if we find these agency owners to create a campaign. So the steps are simple. We're going to find those signals, qualify the signals, find leads and companies, qualify those leads and companies, And then if they qualify for the campaign, send it to a campaign. In order to deploy this system, we're gonna need to use Clay, Appify, Prospeo, Get Sales, and even OpenAI or Claude to process the messages. So why Clay is really important here is because if you want to orchestrate all those tools together, all those systems together, you need something powerful enough so you can have control over the system and being able to automate the whole workflow and increase the amount of leads that you can process per amount of time. So you can increase the speed of your workflows. All right, let's build this together. So first task here, we want to monitor LinkedIn posts that mention things or topics that are related to AI. So one way of doing that we always strongly recommend to use is Appify for scraping LinkedIn. Appify have some of these scraper solutions that don't use your session cookies to be able to scrape LinkedIn actions. In this case, we're looking for an actor. An actor is one scraper in particular that can help you to scrape LinkedIn post using keywords. So what you can do is look for people that are mentioning, in this case, Clay, or mentioning any other word that you like. So you can use Appify in Clay in two ways. One is searching in Appify and sending the results to Clay, and the other way is using in Clay to enrich a list of something, in this case, keywords.
Have you ever used Appify before? Have you ever seen Appify? Can you share in the chat if you are using it? Love Appify, exactly. If you use it a lot, you end up loving it. It's really fun because many times we see lots of entrepreneurs and like people from the industry launching products or productized workflows into products, and then we sort of always find a way to reverse engineer, not always, but many times find a way to reverse engineer those solutions by scraping data through Appify actors. Like, being honest, it's a marketplace of scraping solutions that we always come to check if that solution is there first, and then if it's not there, we look somewhere else. But we like it even better than Phantom Buster, for example, which I'm pretty sure it's more popular. But Phantom Buster, especially for LinkedIn, uses your session cookies. So when you're speaking about scraping largest amount of data, when you want to scrape a high volume of data, you shouldn't compromise your account's health for that. And this is a great workaround for this purpose. So in this case, this could be compared to a social listening solution, right? David, would you agree?
Of course. Yeah, there are other solutions as well that can
We
help
should
you
have
scrape
changed
LinkedIn.
the name of the event, like build a social listening product with us. I think it's even more engaging.
Yeah, that's also a great topic. We can cover that as well. But today, yeah, we're using Appify. Also, we have a question here. LinkedIn blocked Appify, where actually this scraper in particular, we have been using it for like a few months, and it's really working fine, and it's able to scrape a lot of data. And you have other scrapers in this platform that can help you to scrape posts, reactions, comments, and so on. So, yeah, we have here another answer there. Appify block Apollo is what I mean. Okay, yeah. They have a solution to scrape companies in Apollo, but they don't have it anymore. I think that's the thing that you're mentioning. But anyways, in this case, we highly recommend this type of solutions in Appify. And when you scrape the actions here, you're gonna see the results. I'm gonna show you how it looks like in Appify. In this case, we're scraping one post of someone that's mentioning extrovert, for instance. And we have here the post, and probably we have the copy. We should have the copy here or somewhere there. There you go. Oh, The idea here is that you can connect that with Clay as well. So in this case, what I'm going to show you is a table that I already created in advance. We don't spend too much time into connecting that. And I have a list of all possible, well, not all, but some of the most popular AI tools in the niche. So we can start tracking people that have been creating content and talking about those tools. For instance, Clay, of course, Lavender, 11x, Trio, Push.io, Artisan, Agent, Super Lovable. All these tools will show you a high intent in terms of people that are talking about these tools, or their owners, or probably agency or other type of service providers that implement these type of solutions. So we're looking for people that are investing in AI. Probably these guys that are talking about these tools might be fit for you. I have a question here. Can you show how you integrate Appify and Clay? Do you have the top level of Clay to do that? Okay, so
You have to pay
with
for that. That's a upgraded plan. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
you need to have the Clay starter plan to be able to do that. It's an enrichment here. If you type Appify, you're gonna find it here. Run Appify actor. So that's one way you want to enrich something that you have in a table, like in this case, this list of AI tools. So if I want to connect Appify with Clay, I would click on that, and then you need to select the actor. In this case, the actor is, I think it's LinkedIn post. LinkedIn post, search scraper, no cookies. And if you go back to the actor, you will need to be able to grab the JSON here. That is a template that you can use. So let's say I grab this one and fill it here, and then I change the thing that I want to personalize, like for instance, the name here. So that's the way I create this one. I don't want to create another one, but here you can take a look at the example. So it's the same. I just changed the keyword to the column. So you are able to send different API calls, each one covering different keywords. And the interesting thing here is that in Clay, you will be able to also schedule it to run. So if you click here on read, run, and schedule, you can select the frequency that you want to schedule this. So you can run this enrichment to find more people that are talking about these tools daily, weekly, monthly. You can even track your own brand. So if you're not tracking your brand, you should. That's a highly intent signal for you. Even if you're talking bad about your brand, you should know that they're talking about your brand. So when you've finally set up this, you will have this list of, in this case, posts. And in this case, you have the text, you have the stats of the post. How many shares, comments, reaction they have. And what is interesting for us is the author. And as well, you will have the date here that they published this post. Since in Appify, we customize this to sort by date, probably you're going to be seeing the latest post only. So what are you going to do here? First of all, is analyze if this data is enough for me to find those leads. Since I want to find agencies that are investing in AI, I will need to know if the post is actually talking about the tool or it's just a random post. So first of all, what you can do is start sending all those posts into another table so you can review them easily. So if you click on Take Action List, write each item to new row in our table. You can create a new table here, really easy. You can name it post, for instance, and then you can start sending the LinkedIn posts that you just scraped that other table. All right, now you have a list of all these posts. We can map the content, copy of each post, so we can check out really easily if they are mentioning something. Okay, I don't speak French. How about you, Marcos? Do you speak any French?
Not really.
Maybe someone from the audience can translate that for us. I'm just
I
kidding.
should, because I took French in high school, but I approved with 10 out of 10, but forgot everything. It's been a long time.
All right. What we can translate for you, it's Spanish, of course. We're in Argentina right
Portuguese
now. We have some Portuguese as well. So
falo muito
that's
português.
great. All right. Here we have some posts that is Portuguese for you, especially for you.
Live translation. Let's see if it's For Spanish speakers, it's easy to figure out what it's saying most of the times. So, yeah.
Yeah. So in this case, what you will need to be able to understand is that if this post is actually talking about implementing some tools, or it's just a random post about mentioning the tools that are out there on the market or how amazing this is. So if you are not able to speak all the languages in the world, probably the best way to solve that is using AI. So AI is really powerful because it can read every language and it can also speed up the process for you to understand that. I have another question here. You know, if Appify can also look at LinkedIn connections across the organization for warm intros. What I would do is download all your team first degree connections, and then you can qualify them all and send all the qualifieds to another table. And in this table, you can unify all the people and match the ones that are connected to everybody using the lookup function. But if you're talking about second degree connections, there are other tools that might be more helpful for that than Appify. All right, now, if we're looking...
Yeah, for warm intros, we haven't experienced much, but we have partners and colleagues that have created workflows with the Swarm. I don't know if anyone have used it before,
That's
but
true.
it's especially for warm intros. And I can tell for transitive trust that it's really cool, but it's just on the backlog for us. Hopefully we get a client that needs that and we're forced to accelerate the implementation. But yeah, it's a tool that is curated, I would say, through trustworthy partners that use it a lot and get really good results, especially for like venture capital, like private equity type of ICP that you need to get warm intros, or like higher seniority roles like C-suites. Yeah, it's good.
That's true.
Have you ever, like anyone from the audience have used the Swarm before? Curious to learn your experience.
Let's drop this to the audience if they want to check out the tool, theswarm.com. All right, so if you want to find out if those posts are talking about implementing the solution for other people, like an agency would do or a freelancer would do, you just need to describe what you want to do here in the box that you see in the generate, in the use AI feature. So you can type something like analyze this copy, and you can type slash and map the text here, and print true only if the post mention that the author implement these tools for their clients as an agency or freelancer. Else, print false. Something like that is in natural language. Yeah, you can click on generate, and you will see one of the most coolest feature that Clay have, that is the sculpture, at least a part of it. Sculpture will analyze what you need to do and will create the full prompt for you. So you don't need to even know prompt engineering to create a really useful and effective prompt in here. So you're gonna see here that it selects the use case. We always remember to the audience that we have 3 use cases in Clay. The ClayGen, which is an AI scraper solution, the image generation solution, and the create and modify content solution. And then you have the model. GPT 1 Nano is one of the cheapest model out there. But I would change it. I think we are running out of OpenAI credits today, Mark. So I'm going to change that to Sonnet, like Sonnet as well. And in here, you're going to see here the prompt. And the prompt is built 100% based on the description that we just did. So we have here your precise text classification assistant. We also recommend our clients to review the full prompt, read it, and think it if you would do it in the same way or you would tweak it. If you want to tweak it, you can do it in here. But you have here the full instructions, like use the provided text, positive criteria, and explicit mentions qualify the author states they implemented the tool for the clients. identify themselves as working as an agency or freelancer. So we can use all that to qualify it. Let's check it out. What comes from this? We have 75 posts. How many of them might be audiences? Sorry,
We've lost him again. I think we should wait a little bit until he's back.
I'm back here. Sorry for that.
Don't do that again, please. This is the last time.
I don't know what's happening today.
Maybe is there a storm or
Yeah,
what's going on?
we have a big storm here. It's like a hurricane. I mean,
Oh yeah. I heard about it. Like it's coming from Brazil, right?
yeah. But
A
anyways,
cyclone.
we'll cross the fingers and try to wait that the internet doesn't have any issues again. Okay, so we're seeing that the prompt told me that everyone is false. I'm not sure about this result. I don't like it. I think that this is not true. So I can go here again and add another paragraph to check the results. So also output the reasoning behind it. So what I need to know is why the prompt tell me that they are not agencies or freelancers. This is part of the process in which we qualify the LinkedIn post. So if you want to do it manually, probably you will need to review each of them. You can type the keyword in LinkedIn and then review each of them, but it can take you a lot of time. And what we're seeing here is something that you can run in a few minutes and fully understand the results. Now, let me
Sharing the
generate.
evidence in the chat.
All right. What is that? Oh, the
cyclone that's going on in Brazil is reaching your region.
Yeah. Today I was really scared because the trees are in front of my house were like horizontal, they weren't trees anymore. But
Wow.
anyways, now we have as an output here, we have the Boolean that is a yes or no, and also the description, the reasoning behind it. So now we have this. Let's select the model, net, yeah, and let's run it again. This is an iterative process. Every time you create a workflow, you need to be able to be flexible into understanding that probably when you're creating a prompt, the first time that you build it is not 100% accurate, and you need to start improving it and and checking out the results here. So now we have another one running false. Okay, that might be true. We have here also the reasoning. We can check out some of them. Post only discusses a company by artisan asks for opinions, don't mention that they implemented it. This is a general information post. So this is a way that you can start enriching that. So if I would like to enrich all of them, I mean, probably if they are not mentioning that they implement this for clients, I will be wasting times. For this case, that is a demo. Of course, I'm going to continue with the workflow for you so you can start building it and you can use the template as well. But take in mind that also results that tell you that this trigger is not good enough is also a good insight for you, for your business. So now let's take some of them, and for the ones that we have the author here, we have the profile URL of the authors. We can also map the author here in the columns, and we'll be able to check out that some of them, their profiles are not normalized. Like this one. Actually, this one is from my company, and this one has a UTM. So what we don't need is to use different formats here because we need to be able to deduplicates the one that are showing you more than once. So what I would do is go to edit column, and if you go to edit column, you have the way to select formulas in here. And formulas will give you the capability to use AI to create your own formulas. So that's another great tool here in Clay that is included in any plan. It's free to run, that you can use formulas to process the data in the way that you like. So in this case, I want to normalize this LinkedIn profile URL, and you map the correct LinkedIn profile URL from the author profile URL in this format. So I want to be linkedin.com/in/username. If the profile contains the word company, like this one, output null. So in those cases that the post was posted by the company itself, we want to exclude those. So now we have another qualification here that you can use to select the ones that are only people, and you can normalize their name here, the LinkedIn profile. So now you have the normalization here. Let's check it out. Some of them, okay, this one is a company, should be excluded. Anyways, what you can do is use a dedupe function here, or you can even turn on the auto dedupe here. So if this column is profile URL, you find more than one record with the same ID, in this case is a profile URL, they will be deleted automatically. Now, if I click on save changes, I'm gonna delete the free ones that are duplicate, and you're gonna see here that we're going to decrease the amount of LinkedIn profiles. Now we have the LinkedIn profile. There are two ways of doing this. What I always recommend our clients do is figure out a way to separate the IDs of every table. In this table we have posts. So if we want to qualify leads, what I would recommend is to send only the profile URLs into another table, include the companies. So you can use this function that is send table data. You can create a new table. Let's call it leads. And then we're going to send everything, but only for the ones that, and we can use this only run if condition and type something like profile URL is not empty or does not contains company. And that'll be all. So you will be able to start sending all those profiles into another table really easily. And now in that other table, we have all these profiles and we can enrich them. So a way to enrich them in Clay is using this profile. I think it's enrich profile is the name, this one. So enrich profile will give you the capability to get all the information about the LinkedIn URL. But what we always suggest to use is also this Prospeo enrichment, because this find work email enrich person from LinkedIn will cost you 1 extra credit, but also will give you information about the company and will also give you their email. So this is really useful to start, speeding up the process. So you can use this one. You can parse your own Prospeo API key. You can grab the profile URL here, and you can start running this enrichment to get the profile data. So now we're running this enrichment. It can take a while, but as you can see here, you're gonna get as a result all the information about the lead. Also, you're gonna get the work experience, the company information, and as well the email. So what we need to do is find lead gen agencies. So what I would do is, if I want to do it really easily, you can use AI to analyze something like that. Analyze this profile, this LinkedIn profile, and return me true if this person works for a lead gen agency or is a lead gen freelance. And now you can map the whole profile here and create a new prompt. We have a question in the chat. So if you already have a list of contacts, you can use Appify to scrape those, follow their email, phone, job title. Not Appify, Prospeo. We use Prospeo for that, for emails, but also in Appify you have another enrichment. You like to do that. You have here one enrichment that is this one that can enrich their LinkedIn profile, but also can give you their email. And the cost of running it will be, $5 per 1,000 profile. So that might be another way of doing that. There are different ways. But yeah, answering your question, in Appify you can do that. We recommend using Prospeo. Prospeo will have a higher conversion rate in finding the email. And also you find the company information in Prospeo that you don't have in that enrichment on Appify. Now going back here, we have a full prompt here that's also analyzing if I don't want to search the web to do that. I just want to review the profile. So I'm gonna use Claude Haiku. Haiku. Okay, don't want to use the Clay agent as well, just create and modify content. And the prompt should be analyze LinkedIn profile, return. Okay, seems fine. So of course, you need to invest some time into reviewing each prompt before running it. We always suggest to run first 10 rows, and if these 10 rows are okay, if input is missing, what input is missing, implementation result is blank. What is that? Check that. No, I don't want this to run. Okay, I can turn off all of this. Every time you turn off any of these placeholders, you make it not required to run. So that's an important part here when you're prompting, is that you need to know what information is needed to run and what information is just optional. So in this case, we just want to analyze this, so all the other parts might not be fit. Let's run it. Now we have some of them. Okay. Have 2 out of 10. So here we have the recent Matthew. It's a partner at full funnel described as a global revenue services from help organizers to solve every changes in revenue programs. Okay, that might be a good qualified lead. Profile shows multiple lead gen agency roles, founder of Cold. So we have another here lead. And if those are qualified, in Prospeo, you will also get their email. So you can map the email. And you can start sending all those leads that are qualified to a campaign. So let's say I want to send it to HeyRich. In HeyRich, you will be able to connect your account here just by mapping the campaign ID and the LinkedIn persona, LinkedIn URL. You will be able to start sending those leads into HeyRich. Don't forget to always create the run conditions. You send the correct leads into the campaign. So as a quick recap, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that there's no time for Q&A. We've been responding to the questions in the chat, so if you have questions, just drop them.
There is
right
time.
now.
I'm just finishing. Yeah.
No, I know, but I would also like to ask you a question.
Okay.
Because I want the audience and myself to know how much does this whole enrichment cost, right? Like in terms of the cost efficiency of setting this up on your own versus subscribing to a social listening tool. We are very focused on the cost efficiency, so it would be interesting to see how you quote or how you measure the costs of these enrichments. Can you do that, or it's too much work and it's almost the weekend?
You're challenging me. I noticed that. You didn't like that I mentioned that you changed your name. Okay,
You made me speak in Portuguese and French. Not bad.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that, but after finishing here the presentation, I'm gonna show you the numbers.
Do you
about
think
cost
the
of running
audience
this enrichment.
agrees with me that this is an interesting way to wrap it up? Give me your thumbs up.
So we were able to qualify triggers, find and qualify leads, and orchestrate all the tools and send those tools into the in this case a HeyRich type of campaign. And the cost of running that, like Mark was asking for, those stuff. Let's check it out. So in this case, if we want to run this enrichment to find posts, Clay has the capability to manage up to, I would say, 50 posts. So if you type 50 here, let's say, I don't know how frequent Clay is mentioned, how frequent lavender is mentioned, but I would recommend you to run this enrichment once per week. So if you have here 9 tools, for instance, and you want to find their latest 50 posts that are talking about them, and you want to do it once per week, then you will be running 1,100 times this enrichment. As I show you here, the cost of this enrichment is $5 per 1,000 profiles. It's the same for LinkedIn posts. So we need to make the math here, but just in getting the post, you have $9. Really cheap to do that. I mean, even if you want to scrape it daily, it's not like $1,000 to do that. Depending also depends on the amount of tools or keywords that you want to monitor as well. This is the sourcing part. Then let's say you want to run this AI qualification, but in many cases you can qualify companies, leads, or triggers just by using formulas. So you could create a formula like this, like the one that we created for normalizing here the profile URL. But instead of normalizing the profile URL, to review that the text of this post mentions certain keywords, and you can run this qualification for free. As a fallback, you can run an AI qualification like this one, and the cost of running this enrichment is almost a cent per row. So in this case, we have 75 posts per cent, not even $1 to being able to qualify this. The same apply here for leads. You can even do the same in the same process, qualify the posts and qualify the leads in the same prompt. But in this case, I separated it, and if I separated it, it's another half cent. So it's even cheaper. And by doing that, you will be able to decrease the cost of that. Now, can be another cost that you have is the tech stack. Sorry, the enrichment solutions in your tech stack. So in this case, I'm using Prospeo to enrich this. If I would run in my credit system, the cost of running this Prospeo enrichment would be 2 credits per cell here. So I have 64, and each credits in the Explorer plan costs you 3.5 cents. So you have $2 to enrich all of them and get their email. Now, if you have the starter plan,
Missing you
cheaper.
again. I think you're back. You're back. We lost you for, yep. All right, everyone. I think we can wrap it up right now. I'm pretty sure he will join in a minute, but yeah, there he is.
All right.
So sorry for the technical inconvenience. That's never happened, actually. This never happens, but we're experiencing some like weather issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
It's
you want
live.
to finish for the
Yeah,
last
just to wrap
10
it up,
people.
probably we're expecting for running this workflow weekly, you can expect to invest like $50 in enrichment or maybe that. And then of course, if you want to do it at scale, you need to kill the cost of running this enrichment, and you need to add also Clay subscription to the top of that. You need to also add the Average subscription or Get Set subscription and Appify subscription. So Appify costs you $49. If you want to do it at scale, then Average or Get Sales costs between $50 and $79, like that. So for
The ROI is
$200,
there though. Yeah. How much? Sorry?
$200, maybe $300.
Yeah. The ROI is definitely there, and you don't scale something that doesn't work, right? So we always test on a small volume, a pilot volume, make sure that we validate the playbook that is like behind this automated workflow, and then you scale, right? So you want to increase velocity, you want to penetrate the market faster, then it's totally worth it and it's no brainer to spend more. So I hope you enjoyed despite the connection issues. Thank you, KH, for the feedback. We'll be sharing some feedback requests by email and also the recordings. So thank you for staying until the end. The last 8 people in the room. Yeah, I will see you next week. Next Friday. We moved it from Wednesday to Friday because we believe that on Friday we are more relaxed. We have more time to spend on learning, and like we are not with such busy schedule as on Wednesdays. So I hope this change also benefits you. Yeah, that's all for now. David, wanna say anything?
Yeah, just want to thank everybody to stay until the end of it. I'm really happy to share this knowledge with you. If you want to also help into developing something like that, or being able to implement different AI tools, just reach out to us. We'll be happy to jump in a call with you and chat about it. Here you find a link to book a strategy call with us as well. We're going to have a meeting with us that we are going to discuss your current workflows, your current tech stack, how you can improve it. If you want to be part as well of our community in Slack and start learning from other people that are also in this path, here you have a link to join our Slack community. In our Slack community, you will find the audience or the team that's going to be there for you to support when you hit this blocker and you don't know how to solve it, that we have been all been there. So I was really pleased to share this knowledge with you today. See you probably next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you. Thank you.